Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are with Love, Dr. Pamela Smith. Thank you for joining me as we continue talking about the book and ways that I'm going to help you with your relationship life. And why I'm doing that is talking about the book, but also helping you understand about relationships. Now, as you know, I'm in my book that I wrote called Love, Sex, and Power with Basketball GOAT. It's my relationship with Michael Jordan. In the link in the description, please get the book. It's an instant download if you'd like to look at it right now. Very colorful, give you information, and it's going to show you why I'm telling my story about Michael. And again, if those who don't know me or don't know, I wrote this book because of the lies that have been spread about me. And okay, some people say, why do you care? It's not about caring or not caring. It's just about, as a relationship loveologist, and how I study love and relationships and helping people, that it matters that we are understanding what we deal with when people lie on us, when people talk about us, when people give what they want other people to see, and it's not reality. And so I talk about it because our hatred, lack of understanding, confusion can harm others. And if you don't understand how to respect or love someone, you will have difficult relationships, because relationships come with learning curves. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's a process of learning. It's a process of understanding. It's a process of wanting to know how somebody think of you, what they think of you, how you feel, and how you feel about what you're experiencing. So it matters what we go through within our relationships, and what do you do about it? Now I was in. I just wanted to go on that real quick. Don't want you to feel down. Let's keep it up. We were in the last couple of videos that I did, I wanted to get back to the book and talk about chapter 6, but this particular part I'm talking about, it's about why do we confuse people? Why do you confuse the mate that you desire? Why do you cause the challenges within a relationship when you don't have to? You are single, especially when you're single. But when you are a married individual, you still have challenges. You still have these confusion, because situation happens. In chapter 6, Michael caused confusion. And I talked about how Michael called me the night before and talked to me about how he loved me. And what was so confusing about it is that he made a decision 24 hours later to be with someone else. So why do you allow relationships to be confusing? Why don't you just say what you're going to do and let that person move on? And I'm saying this because it just happened. I was just watching, and normally I don't watch these shows. I ain't have time to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have time to watch it on TV. But I was just so happened watching that show, The Bachelor. And all know how I feel. If you don't, I'll tell you how I feel about relationships that happen so quick. All right, so you know that the show Bachelor is about a young man that or woman, whichever one they put on there, but this is The Bachelor. So it's about a young man who goes on various dates with multiple women. I don't know how many. I'll say 30. I don't know. But over a period of time, he's dating, and these women are all in the same house. And he takes turn dating these women because he's trying to decide who makes him feel good and who he's going to marry. Now I'm laughing because, yes, sometimes we can meet people and we can have an instant gratification. We can have an instant desire, but we're in a state of lust. Now, what is harrowing about this is that this situation of this show is causing this person to choose on the basis of dating, which is what you do anyway. But he's given an opportunity to choose from all these women in a little pool. And so he get to choose who he really want to get to know based on his conversations and what they do and where they go. And he gets to decide if this person really makes him feel good. Okay? Now, my thing in it takes time to really get to know somebody's ways. And sometimes you still don't figure it out. It could be years. I can't nobody say. I've been in some for 8 years and I still don't know some shit. But I'm just talking real talk. Sometimes it takes a minute. So how is it that a 6-week show, I don't know, 6 weeks, 2 months, you know if you in love? You got to be really empty. You've got to really be lonely. And here's the thing, it's not even that. If you guys are watching and following me, I talk about the ages, okay? So on a video that I did previous, I'll talk about that again, but I'm gonna quickly talk about it. There's a time in our life that we go through this period that we believe that we need or we're desiring. Now, I'll give you an example. See, when you are in your 20s, and I'm gonna say your early 20s, you are just now learning how to be on your own and how not to be under mom and parents' roof. You either, i.e., went to college and just finally got to be out on your own and have a roommate, or i.e., you decide to go to a trade and you get an apartment and you're on your own and you're learning to be an adult. You're learning to be responsible. You're getting the ways of the world and you're learning how to do these process, right? So in your 20s, you're still figuring out what it is that you want. And sometimes it doesn't take till you're 30 to really say, this is it. Even if you have a college degree, even if you've had a job, sometimes it takes to 30 to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I really want. Now, I'm not saying this is not about everybody. The percentage is just higher that when you're in your 20s, you are in a stage of focusing on who? Self. Okay? Now, what happens is when you reach your 30s, you get all these people in your ear telling you where you ought to be in your 30s. Okay? So how do you know where I ought to be and what I ought to be doing and who I need to be? So by this time, you get all these people in your ear telling you, oh, you should be married by now. You should be you should have children by now. And you let all these little things drip in your subconscious. And so you believe it's time to settle down. Why? You just now learn what you really want to do and you're doing it. So why won't you take the time to just date and get to know various people? I'm not saying intimately, but you can date. Okay? But why do you think even if you did date, it was enough time? I did it. I don't need to do it anymore. I had enough time to figure it out. I don't need to learn anymore. Why do you all get so quick to be within a relationship with someone and say, I got it. I know I want to be married. I want to get with this person. So here's where I'm going with this. This young man and these young ladies are looking to settle. Because it's not easy finding a mate to be in love with. I'm not saying it's hard, but it's not easy. Because you are out meeting different people just like everybody else is meeting different people, right? So how do you know that you're going to run into that mate? How do you know that that mate, that's the one? You really don't. You really don't. Because you're dating different people to hope to figure it out. Now, here's my thing about this. When you're in your 30s, you kind of know what you want. I will say that. But I think this particular last thing on this show, these people were in their late 20s. And to me, you're not there. You're not there. Now, supposedly he's with the person that he loved. But here's the thing I talk about. If you get with somebody in that short span of time, and you have a conversation with somebody in that short span of time, that person is only fulfilling what they heard you want. So they're going to hone in on your desires and try to fulfill it based on what you want. Okay? So everybody that he dated heard what he's about and what he likes and what he don't like and what I want in a woman. So they're going to try to satisfy his need on the basis of what he said he likes. So you don't know if that's real love because men do it all the time. So these group of women are doing what men do. I'm going to satisfy your need based on what you told me you want. I'm going to satisfy what you say makes you exciting. I'm going to do what you say to make you feel good because that's what you told me. It's impossible in 6 weeks to know if someone is truly in love with you. Now, you can love them and be excited, but truly in love, it takes time. Now, you can find that, and I want to, let me roll this back, guys. I don't want y'all over there. No, love, doctor, that's not true. That's not true because I met my man and we got married and we still together. Baby, you 1 in a million. Do you understand? It is rare today that is happening because there's too much viewing and opportunities. What is that, doctor? Your technology, your social media. There's too many eyes to see the things that you believe is going to satisfy your need. So you believe you have more opportunities to meet someone and give you what you think is what you're seeking. So you're going to make it harder for the person that you're dating to understand you're not going to give that relationship much time. If that person doesn't meet a certain thing that you desire or like or want, you're going to move to the next. You're not going to give that relationship that much time. Because of why? Social media, there's too many people fishing on the sea out there swimming. So I got to keep hanging on that. And that's just real talk. And so my thing is, we get in our relationships and we let people confuse us. Now, what Michael did was he was confusing because he was in his 20s. He was in his 20s making a major decision about his life in his early 20s. And he did it on the basis of what he did as a player. He's letting society tell him where he ought to be and ought to be doing versus him focusing on what makes him happy. We're so busy to let them rush us in our desires, and that down the road we end up in a divorce or we're going through changes because we let somebody else tell us what we ought to be doing. Now, I'm not saying by no means that Michael was in love with me. I believe that he was based on how he treated me, and I talked about that previously. But what he did and what we do in relationships is that we confuse people that we desire. We make a person feel like they are the one that they really truly want to be with, and you do things with, and you spend time with, and you talk about the love that you have for them, but you change. And that's what happened in The Bachelor. When it came to the final two, he had said one thing but did another. And so he's playing with an individual emotion, and he's telling one lady, I love you, as he's telling the other, I love you. And this is why I'm saying to you, he's by no means in love with the other young lady he chose. Because he's still loving, if he say he understands love, he's still loving someone else. You understand? I'm not sure how successful that relationship is going to last. Because you can't sit here and tell me you love me and you love her. Who are you, in love, or you just loving? And this is why I talk about it. We can love many, but to be in love, that one is the only one. You're not going to tell 2, 3 other women that you love them. So I'm not trying to put a damper on that man's relationship, but it ain't gonna last. And this is exactly what happened with Michael. I knew it wasn't gonna last because Michael turned around and made the decision to get married after he had told me that he loved me. So he was being confused. So I already knew when I found out he got married, it wasn't gonna last. Because he was loving me as he's so-called loving someone else. It's not gonna last because your thought process is on someone else. You're making a decision to be with this person, but you're thinking of another person. It's not gonna last. And you all, and I know some of you all go ahead and settle with the other person. You do. Most of you do it. And you're sitting there thinking about the other person, really probably still seeing the other person. I'm just saying. And that is what happens when you're confusing in your relationship. And I'm telling you, here's my thing. And I said this again. If you're a single individual, there's no reason to be confusing in your relationship. You are still a single individual, and there's nothing wrong with you telling someone, hey, I da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to da-da-da-da-da. Because you are still single. If you have love and desires for more than one person, you don't have to rush into anything. Enjoy your life until you figure it out. Because if you rush into something, you're settling. If you rush into something, it's not going to last. Take your time and find the mate that makes you happy. Take your time and be with somebody that makes you happy, that brings you the love and the satisfaction and the knots in the stomach, the heart beating. Wait for that. It's there if that's what you desire. But if you're rushing love, you're gonna get what you get, and that's anything. That's anything. And so I just wanted to go in about the being confused. Stop being confused within your relationships and make a decision about your relationship. And decide what you're in. And decide right. Because fast forward here today, Michael divorced that young lady. And during that marriage, they had trials and tribulation. Lots. You see? Now, am I saying if he was with me, would it have been different? Of course. Of course. I don't care what nobody say. It would have been different. Totally. Because why? I'm not her and she's not me. So however I would have been to him would have not been the way she was to him. It's impossible. Would we have still been together? I believe so. Because again, I'm not her and she's not me. Deep love doctor. Definitely I'm deep because I'm going to be real about what I'm saying. I'm not finna sugarcoat it. Now, he might say differently, and I don't give a jackass. I'm saying what I'm saying that I know exists within how we treat each other and within relationships. So stop being confusing. Tell somebody what it is that you want. Stop lying and making and keeping this confusion on. Because that's all you're doing is lying and delaying the reality. What is the reality? It's gonna come to light. So what happened? So of course what he did was being confusing. Again in chapter 6, he came on the flight and I was on the same airplane. Okay? I'm gonna stop there. Like I said, get the book because the book in chapter 6 is gonna go in more detail as to what happened. I wanted to talk about that part about in the book about Michael being confusing and what happens when you get into that situation of being confused. Okay? So I hope the information that I gave you will help you out. Just remember, if you're single and you seeking and wanting and desiring love, just remember it's only delayed. True love is only delayed. Just be patient. If you're already in a relationship, you know what I say. Keep it peace and happy. All right? So you've been with Love, Dr. Pamela Smith. Thank you for joining me. I will be seeing you soon, and we'll be back as we talk again more about love, love, love.